Hello everyone and welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Josh, joined today by Ewan Patterson because Ewan, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but we haven't had a Rocksteady or Batman related rumour in a long while, so I'm going to break that dry spell right now with something that I'm not sure if you're going to be a huge fan of and if the people at home are going to be a huge fan of. This comes by way of Imran Khan from the Kind of Funny Games daily videos podcast series, and he has revealed that the last that he heard, at least a few years ago, is that Rocksteady are currently working on a Suicide Squad games as service game, which might sound ridiculous because I know what you're thinking. That's exactly what WB Montreal was supposed to be working on a few years ago, but that got cancelled.
Yes, I was going to say, I did a big plug, did a big video on all the cancelled Batman Arkham games the other month, and the Suicide Squad thing was like WB Montreal's title after they worked on Arkham Origins. You know, they had all the teasers in Arkham Origins about Task Force X, you know, Amanda Waller was there, recruiting Deathstroke, you know, they were going to have all these different characters being involved, and then it got cancelled, and they moved on to the Damian Wayne Batman game, which then also got cancelled, and they worked on to a different thing, which is now the thing they're working on, which is kind of like an Arkham reboot, Court of Owls, Bat Family, open world thing. I don't really know, Josh. It's all a very the whole WB Games thing just gives me one big headache. Yeah. I'm like, was it this week or last week there was something about them being sold off to a different studio and we don't know what Rocksteady are doing.
We'll
it was
get
Superman.
To that.
They had a Superman pitch cancelled and now it's like a Justice League thing, but it's not a Justice League thing. It's now what are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad cancelling squad?
Well, this is it, right? I mean,
I don't even know.
You've done that great video, and yet things still constantly are in flux. Like you said, Rocksteady, we always assume we're going to make a Superman game. Then that was shot down quite quick. I know I'm getting my own words mixed up. Superman game, that was shot down. Then it was Justice League, now that's been shot down. Then now it has moved back to Suicide Squad, which was originally in production by WB Montreal, so it's shifted development studios internally. But this, is as easy as it is to get your wires mixed up on this. This was also kind of hinted at last year. There were two separate reports last August about Rocksteady making a Suicide Squad game. And at the time, I kind of wrote those rumors off because we'd heard so much, and I just kind of assumed that they might have gotten that information mixed up with what WB Montreal were working on, which subsequently got cancelled. But now that it's come up again, and Jason Schreier has been in the old Reset era forums, because obviously there is a forum based on this comment, where everyone was kind of a bit down on it. They weren't sure that they wanted this project from Rocksteady after so long. And Jason Schreier essentially he didn't confirm or deny it, but said that Mario and Rabbids, the crossover for the Switch a few years ago, initially sounded like a bad idea, but it went on to become one of the best games of the entire generation. So we might see something similar here, in that a lot of people want Rocksteady to do Superman or Justice League or go more fantastical, and that Suicide Squad might not sound like a great next step after Batman, but Rocksteady are really good. They've got a good track record. They might be able to pull it off. It's only the games as service angle that kind of worries me a little bit.
I mean, the games as a service rumors have been going for a few years now. They've been hiring loads of different people with games as a service experience. So I think it's nailed on that they're going to do that. And I think, it's one of those weird things we talk about, like WB Games, and how I feel as though we probably agree that the way it's been managed hasn't been too great, given all the cancellations, everything that's kind of gone on. We've seen WB having, being at the precipice of superhero video games with Batman Arkham, and they're going to start their own comic book video game universe. And then Spider-Man PS4 came around, where they were just there kind of twiddling their thumbs. And now they've got an Avengers game coming out this year, which is going to be games as a service and has a lot of potential, to do something with that genre. So it's another potentially reactive move here. And I guess the lingering question, and it's something I touched on in the video the other month as well, is do we think that games as a service is a good use of Rocksteady's talents? Are WB kind of approaching this genre with the best intentions? It's obviously too early to judge or whatever. There are a lot of iffy connotations with games as a service. A lot of players aren't a big fan of it, and especially if Rocksteady is so, they have such a good reputation for delivering, really strong, compelling single-player content. Just had to wait and see. I thought the Suicide Squad rumors were a little bit weird because Like you said, last year we had that leak, and it mentioned how the cities of like Keystone and Metropolis would be involved, and there would be a Ra's al Ghul like pre-order bonus or something like that. I remember all that, and then I thought they got debunked. But maybe it is a thing going on. Maybe Rocksteady are just doing DC Universe the game at this point. Honestly, it wouldn't even surprise me. Like, Schreier mentioned a few months ago, I believe, that their next title is meant to star multiple characters from the DC, multiple superheroes specifically from the DC Universe. So I don't know whether that, it's maybe it is Suicide Squad related. I don't know. At this point, it's just, we've had so many different things of so much, kind of varying validity or veracity or whatever. So yeah, I can't even be invested in any one idea right now, because A, it's either going to be cancelled or a different rumor is going to come out next week.
Well, that's it. That's entirely spot on, man. Like Imran even mentions in the video, he stresses that this information is a couple years old. He hasn't heard anything, recently. This isn't from the past month or so. So for all we know, this might be yet another cancelled Suicide Squad game. And this might not even be happening, but it's the kind of the latest that we've got on it. We had, like I said, the timeline seems to be they pitched a Superman game, they got turned down. There were rumors about a Justice League team up event, but they kind of came and went quite quickly. And then over the past year, it has been Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad. But yeah, I don't know whether this is going to be a great use of Rocksteady's talents, because they've kind of made the name, like you said, on like these strong narrative-driven single-player games, and I don't know how that naturally translates to something as a games with servers. But we do know, I have some further news, and you probably already know this, Ewan, but if you don't at home, WB and kind of like DC as a whole have announced is it called the Fandome? That's happening on
the Fandome. The Dome. The Fandome.
Digital conference that's happening in August, and WB Games are confirmed to be there. So you've got to assume that we're at least seeing either WB Montreal's or Rocksteady or both of their games at this event. Like, it's been so long since Arkham Knight. It's been 5 years since that game. It's been even longer since Arkham Origins. And I know WB Montreal, like we said, they've had a lot of projects get canned, and they worked on the DLC for Arkham Knight. But it's been a long time, and I know we say this every year, but this is going to be the year, Ewan. It's going to be. We heard rumors before that it was supposed to be at E3. Obviously, that didn't go ahead. So it seems like they might have just pushed it to this August event. And then we will finally see what the hell has been going on then.
Yeah, no, it's again, we've been waiting so long for this. We had the first teasers come out last year, and the rumors since of all the, we cover rumors quite a lot on this channel, obviously, because rumors are exciting and interesting, and even if they're wrong, they can be fun to talk about and speculate on things that don't exist. But with this series, I've never known a project to be in development for so long have so many leaks and rumors that have come out about it, to the point where I can say with a relative degree of confidence that this game is going to be a sort of Arkham reboot, and that Warner Brothers are trying to make a new DC Games universe. But again, you have to factor the sale into this now as well. Obviously the reports earlier in the week and last week mentioned how this isn't going to influence games that are on WB's immediate horizon, so we could expect WB Montreal's Batman game to be fine.
Yes.
But I am curious to see how this proceeds going forward, because again, I'm looking forward to the big, massive expose that gets written on WB Games, like just the publisher in the next few years or something, because I need to know what happened to all those cancelled titles and all the stuff that's been going on right now. It just seems like information is just porously falling out of this place. And then you factor in all the different cancellations and the games as a service element of Rocksteady, and the fact that they rejected a Superman pitch from Rocksteady as well. That, well, ostensibly, obviously, we don't know if that's a confirmed thing or not. But if that is how things have lined up, it's a very confusing time, and it just kind of leaves me just being like, what the hell? What is going on? Just tell us what's going on.
There is like a fascinating story there to be told. Like you said, I've never known, like you said, like a publisher or a couple of studios have so much information, leak over the years that it's all been kind of backed up with, leaked concept art or, leaked resumes and stuff like that. That seems legit. And for so much to be in flux and for so much to have changed from one year to the next, like there's going to be a hilarious 6-part series of how, if this turns out to be true, how we got from WB Montreal's Suicide Squad game to that being Rockstar's, to Rockstar following up a tease that was in the one Batman Arkham game that they didn't make. Like, you can't write it. It's actually amazing. But you mentioned like the sale. Obviously, like you said, that won't affect the immediate games that WB are releasing. But there was a new tidbit released over the past day or so, a rumor suggesting that while we know that Take-Two Interactive, EA, and Activision were the studios and publishers looking to buy WB Games. Apparently Microsoft has thrown their hat into it as well, into the game. They're looking to see if it's worth buying these studios up and if it's worth licensing these titles.
They want, I mean, to be fair, if they were going to license it, that makes sense, but I could see them totally being like, well, Sony has Spider-Man, and that is a system seller. Spider-Man is one of the most profitable IP ever. People got PlayStations to play Spider-Man. I wonder if they're there licking their lips at Batman being right now, oh, if we had Batman, oh.
It ain't a dumb move, man, because for as much as they can create, great independent superhero games, I'm sure, like Infamous or something, if they had their analog, like you can't go toe-to-toe with Spider-Man without having your own, major name brand, major branding on it. So you need a Batman, you need something like that. So if WB Games is up for sale and they need something to rival what's arguably Sony's most important franchise at the moment, like I would be throwing money at that if I was at Microsoft with those deep pockets. I would just be like pelting WB Games with fistfuls of cash until they had to look at me and take me seriously. But yeah, this is pretty much it for now. What do you guys think down in the comments below? Would you be up for a Rocksteady developed Suicide Squad game, or are you just wanting everyone to get sold so we can finally, have something completely different? Either way, while you're down there, can you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to whatculture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't know I've been Josh, you can follow me on Twitter at Josh Broon with 2 O's, joined by Ewan, who you can follow on Twitter at
Ewan Ruins Things.
And we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Like AT&T ruined Warner Brothers. There we go.